Welcome to the Ecomminsiders podcast. My name is Debbie, and this event is being sponsored by SPCTEK. Our topic today is how to effectively use Amazon support with expert insights. Our guest is John Cavendish. He is founder and CEO of Seller Candy, a true trailblazer in the Amazon selling space with years of experience owning and managing brands that have generated millions in sales on Amazon. John has carved a unique path in the e-com world. Drawing from his deep understanding of the challenges which Amazon sellers face, he created Seller Candy, a game-changing service providing expert virtual assistant support designed to simplify and supercharge Amazon seller success. Welcome, John.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for that amazing introduction, Debbie.
Yeah, so let's just get started right away because I know you have a lot of information for us. What do you think are the common issues that sellers face that require contacting Amazon support?
So just a quick overview. I mean, what Seller Candy does, as well as virtual assistant services, is we basically deal with seller support for you.
Hmm.
So it's like our tagline is never talk to seller support again. Because if
Okay.
anyone's a seller out there, I don't know about you, but I think one of the worst parts about selling on Amazon is dealing with Amazon themselves. And that's the
Yes.
pain that we want to take away as a business and as a service.
All
So,
right.
some of the most common issues that sellers face while contacting support, I mean, it's everything, isn't it? So, if you're a seller, whether that's raising a case to do something as simple as update your title, and like Amazon saying because it's not propagating, whether it's you know a suspension or like an ASIN suspension, obviously that
Mm.
sucks, but everyone goes through them every so often. Or if it's something as complicated as an account suspension, there's all these different things you have to contact support about. And I don't know about you, but either you get stuck in this forever, never ending cycle of sending something, getting a template, and then eventually having to call them and sitting on the phone for an hour, or you have a VA and you give it to them. So Seller Candy, we kind of see ourselves as the third option, which is you work with us, we provide you with an amazing ex Amazon seller support member who works on the back end of your account for you.
Well, good. What steps should someone take if a support case has not been resolved to their satisfaction, which
Hmm.
is often?
Often. I mean, if you want to get things done faster, there's kind of two things you can do at this point. Um, I can give you the long answer or the short answer. It depends. What would you prefer?
Oh, you can give us the long answer so everybody gets the full answer.
Okay, so the long answer for this is there's a process really to opening cases. And ideally, try not to open a case in the first place. The answer is try not to open a case. So ideally, you need to try and solve the problem yourself first. And then once you've tried everything, then you can open a support case. Because otherwise, Amazon tends to just fire a case back at you saying, oh, we've raised it to the relevant department. We'll get back to you in 48 hours. But that's not really helpful if we have something really urgent that wants to be solved. So what we do, if someone has, say, it's a suspended ASIN, which is one of the more frustrating and relatively
Mm.
common things. Um, First thing we do is we raise a case to seller support. I know I said don't do that, but there's a reason for that. You need the case log number, and then you need to raise another case enabling your category listing report. So that's like the flat file for all of your listings on the back end of seller support. So once you've done that, you've got your category listing report, you've got your case ID. You can then go in and then you can kind of edit your listings. And this is actually a really good tip for anyone who wants to update their listings anyway. Rather than you using Amazon's listing editor in the back end, if you download your category listing report, you basically have a pre-filled in flat file that you can then edit for each of your listings and upload whenever you want to do any updates. But at this point here, so say you've got your listing suspended, Amazon said it's something to do with what you say on your listing, which it often is, but then they'll suspend your listing so you can't edit it. So you're stuck in purgatory, asking them to update it, and then they'll go back and forth 1,000 times. So you've got your category listing report. You can actually update your listing with this. So you go in
Ah,
there, you make your edits, you upload it, and now you've uploaded it, you've got a bulk upload number, like a flat file upload number. Um, and then this is the point where you say, okay, is it working? Yes, no, maybe. And so the third step is if it's not working, is to do a delete relist. So this is like the one that everyone hates the most. But the main thing you need to do is you have to go in there, delete your listing, wait over 24 hours, so exactly 24 hours, and then re-upload it. And the reason to do this is to refresh it in Amazon's system.
Okay.
But a lot of people worry that they'll lose their reviews. And you don't need to worry about that. You're not going to lose your reviews. But if this doesn't work, you've done all these three things, and this is the point at which you contact seller support, because you can do all this stuff within 24 hours plus the other time before it, so say 36 hours, and you've taken all these steps. And when you call up Amazon seller support and request a call back in the support center, they'll say, okay, what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to do a bulk upload file. And you're like, oh no, I've already done that. Here's my bulk upload number. Like, okay, I need to open a case. Oh, here's my case ID. Oh, we're going to need to do a delete relist. I've already done that. This is when I did it. So you've done all the stuff they're going to tell you what to do, which usually takes like a week of back and forth and
Yeah.
back and forth seller support. So then you can just stay on the phone and say, look, can you just keep me on and escalate me to leadership? And that's how you can actually get something done quickly to your satisfaction, going back to the original question, without having to wait like a week and a half to get it done.
Yeah. Yeah. Great tips. I mean, really good tips. If you're not familiar with exactly what you should do, pay attention to what John is talking about. Where do you think the biggest communication gaps between Amazon seller and Amazon support are?
I feel like the gaps are to do with metrics or like keys of, what is success? As a seller, our version of success is getting the outcome we asked for. For seller support, the version of success is, meeting their metrics and KPIs, which is, ticket close within 8 minutes, no reopens, sending the correct template when they've gone through Amazon's workflow tool and copy and paste it right. So we don't necessarily have to rate the same aligned incentives. So I think that's the biggest gap between sellers and seller support, most likely.
Okay. How effectively does Amazon support handle the technical issues like listing errors, inventory discrepancies, and order fulfillment problems?
So I mean, at least from my point of view, they actually handle them quite well. Eventually, I feel like with Amazon, the word is eventually.
Mm.
So a lot of it is explaining to Amazon using the right keywords in the right order in the right way that they want to receive the information, um, so that you can get the right answer out of them.
Yeah, I think people don't understand really the first time something happens, they don't understand the timetable that Amazon uses
Mm.
is not the same timetable that you would prefer to use as a seller. So eventually is really a good word to use with them and stuff because eventually it'll happen. Um, how does Amazon support handle account suspensions and other serious seller performance issues?
Yeah, I don't know if you had much experience with account suspensions in the
Yeah,
past.
quite a bit.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's like I would say vaguely is a good word for that a lot of the time. Um, Amazon, a lot, the main thing with dealing with Amazon is not to get affected when they give you very harsh wording, because they'll
Yes.
always say, we won't respond to you and we will never reinstate your account. That's very
Yeah.
standard wording with Amazon. Doesn't mean that they won't do that. It's just the wording is very harsh.
Yeah.
So the main thing, at least when you're dealing with suspensions and other serious issues, is don't get to, try not to send the emotional response.
Yes.
Take a deep breath, think about it, talk to people who've done it before, whether that's getting a consultant or just talking to your friends that've done it before, and don't send the begging, saying I didn't do anything wrong, those type of messages. Amazon always wants you to admit guilt, even if there wasn't guilt. So,
Yeah.
you know, talk to other people, get it clear, and send a nice, clear, concise response. Amazon's not going to care if it's another 2 or 3 hours or day in your response time, as long as it's the right thing. Don't get yourself backed into a corner saying
Yeah.
something silly.
I tell people that all the time, and I even say, if you have an email that you think you're just gonna shoot off, put it in AI, because AI is really good about saying things nicely,
Yes.
and taking the emotion out of it. It's more of a neutral type thing.
Mm.
So, I utilize that sometimes because every now and then I'll get somebody who fires me up and I think, "Oh, man, I'm gonna let them know." And I think the best thing that you can do is, like you said, take the emotional part out of it. Amazon definitely has a very preferred format. in which they want
Mm,
to see things. So make sure that you understand what that is, the root cause. Because I have found, and I don't know, maybe you do too, John, but sometimes some of their emails to sellers are cryptic,
mm,
in that when you're looking through it, you're like, you think you understand, but you may not understand. Or a lot of people get hung up on like the counterfeit products where they're
mm.
like, no, it's genuine, and it's not that they're accusing you of it. They're just saying that you don't have that trail all the way back to, show that it's legitimate. Um, and so I do think that sellers need to breathe, just breathe.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are some, well, and we already talked about this, some of the common mistakes that sellers usually make when they're dealing with Amazon support. What's the best way to avoid, say, the emotional or the just throwing something out there quickly and not really doing your research?
Hmm. I mean, I think what you said about AI is a great way of rewriting things. I think
Mm.
always getting a second opinion, from one of your colleagues or business contacts or anyone really running this situation by someone else who's had it before. Second opinions is always the best thing, and then just have a rule that you don't send it without getting a second opinion, whether that's a professional like us or
Yeah.
just anyone basically. Make sure you don't send something crazy. Talk to one of your more level-headed friends.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good point too. I've got some friends that might rewrite it and it could be worse. So,
Yeah.
now tell us a little bit more about how your company actually helps to Amazon sellers just navigate the complexity, and overcome roadblocks and stuff like that. What does Seller Candy do that's a little bit different than?
Yeah, so how we differentiated when we started Seller Candy was that I had an agency beforehand that we did a lot of different things, and I had a lot of calls that year in like 2019, 2020. And I realized that not everybody can be successful on Amazon because I talked to a lot of brands that were off Amazon and wanted to come on. But anyone that was successful had problems with seller support. Like
Yeah.
everyone didn't like dealing with seller support. So so Seller Candy really is a service that helps you deal with that. So what it really is it's a portal. So it's a portal a bit like Seller Central, because the other thing I realized during it is that Amazon sellers aren't the most organized people. So we want to
Yeah.
help them be organized. So we give them a portal, which is like a project management tool. You log in there, you just log the outcome that you want to happen, just like you would create a case, except unlike a case, our team then just takes the outcome and then runs with that outcome to to achieve the result. So we have 40 ex Amazon, 40-ish Amazon ex Amazon seller support agents that we hire directly out of Amazon's support centers with the right level of experience and right culture
Mhm.
fit who work for us. They work on your behalf as opposed to the Amazon's behalf, and also their metrics and KPIs are based on your success as opposed to closing in a certain number of minutes or anything like that. So basically, we do everything that you can raise a case about in Amazon, but nothing performance related. So no PPC, no creative. But what we do is anything you raise a case about, flat files, plans of action, calling support, raising cases, like everything that probably drives you nuts on a daily basis.
Yeah, and I think that you have done something that you mentioned about the way that you hire people
Mm,
who actually can speak the same language as Amazon support staff, because there is a semantics between support and sellers that isn't really synced sometimes. Do you have resources and tools that you provide to sellers that really help them to effectively communicate with support and escalate the issues when necessary?
yes. So actually, we have some tools you can have without even signing up to us. I think the best one to share is probably we've put together like a guide based on
Mm.
everything we've learned over the last 4 years. It includes like how to solve certain issues, how to, I think we've got some of our SOPs in there as well. Just like a big kind of value pack. So if
Oh,
anyone
good.
listening wants to download that, it's at sellercandy.academy rather than .com, .academy.
Oh,
So
okay. All
sellercandy.academy.
right.
There's a sign up page there. You'll get the email with all of those resources in. And we also have some good blog articles on that.
Oh, good. Hey, that reminds me too. Do you also have podcasts or any other educational, or everything that you have that's educational is at Dot Academy?
Good point. Yeah, so we have podcasts. You can check out the podcast. It's
Mhm.
called the Amazon Strategist Show. Don't use the acronym and don't Google it. So we have the Amazon Strategist Show. We've got the blog. We do a lot of co-marketing activities. So we do co-webinars with our friends in the industry. So educational webinars. But yeah, the main thing is the guides, which you can get from .academy, sellercandy.academy, and we'll also tell you about different things you can sign up to when you're there and listen to the podcast.
Now, when I talk to sellers, the one thing that they always tell me that's kind of a heat point or pain point for them is that changes. Amazon always changes. So, how does your company actually stay informed about the changes that they have in Amazon support policies and procedures to ensure that your clients are going to receive the most up to date and effective support?
Yes, I mean, one of the beautiful things we do is we're plugged into, I don't know, 250 accounts at any one time. So if there's a trend happening, if something's changing, we're at the forefront of it before Amazon releases any updates because we start seeing it. So, apart from the fact that we, monitor Amazon's updates and
Yeah.
stay ahead of the curve, we actually see tickets coming in on an ongoing basis. So as soon as something starts going wrong, we will get an inundation of, whether it's a bot
Mhm.
taking listings down for pesticide claims again or whatever's happening. We see
Yeah,
it and we can stay ahead of the curve and come up with a process for it.
it's definitely very secular.
Mm.
Where, you think, "Oh, we've dealt with those before," and then all of a sudden it seems to, like, come back and start all over again and stuff like that. John, what else would you like to leave as your key thought for sellers who are on Amazon, and especially those that have to deal with seller support?
Well, if you don't deal with seller support, then you're not selling much on Amazon. But I would say, have patience, call as much as possible, and just don't lose hope. You will get there eventually with seller support. And if you are frustrated and you have like one issue, or you can see the value in having someone else do it for you, reach out to our team if you want to. It's just
Yeah.
sellercandy.com, and you can book a call with Kelly, who's on our team, and he'll kind of show you how it works and see if we're a good fit to serve. Because we're not a good fit for everyone, but we always do a demo and see if we're a good fit to serve you.
John, thank you today for joining us on Ecom Insiders, sponsored by SPC Tech. Our guest again, John Cavendish. He is with Seller Candy. And if you have any questions, you can leave them below. You can also, I'm assuming, go to your website, which is sellercandy.com. Or if you want the educational guides that he was talking about, sellercandy.educate. Um,
Academy.
Academy. Oh, I was just
Close
thinking
enough.
how, yeah, Academy. Leave and then if you enjoyed today's session, just make sure that you subscribe, push the like button, and you'll get future editions of Ecom Insiders. John, again, thank you so much for your insight today. It was appreciated.
Cool. Thanks, Debbie. It's lovely to be here.
All right.